So good day everyone, and today we're going to talk about how we can deploy our deep learning models using local deployment and web deployment. So for the objectives of our discussion this session, at the end of this session, you should be able to deploy a deep learning model locally and deploy a deep learning model to the web. So to begin with, let's discuss first on how we can do both using typical um, a typical application. No? So this application is called Streamlit. No? If you are not aware of Streamlit yet, it's an open source Python framework, and it is basically used for building interactive web applications for data science, machine learning, and deep learning as well. And it allows us to create custom web applications, no? And this is very intuitive because it's using Python code as its core programming language, no? And it enables data scientists to create user interfaces for their models, no? And then it can also display visualizations and a lot of data analysis, no, without the need for extensive web development knowledge. So our goal for this session is to definitely um, we should be able to present, no, our deep learning models, no. It's because when we are solving a typical problem and our solution is a deep learning model or machine learning model, we cannot basically display our notebook, no, particularly Jupyter Notebook or Google Colab to our clients, to our bosses, or to our managers, no. So what we can do is to present them with a presentable material that will be appreciated by non-technical people. So basically, we can do that by um, using a web platform that we can deploy locally using Streamlit server, or we can use the Streamlit cloud as a server. Okay, so that those two things that we can do. No, we can create a model and then we can deploy that model locally using the Streamlit server. But we do have to know the different we do have to know the different aspects of the deployment, no? So what are the requirements that we need in order for us to deploy um, our deep learning models? Okay, so with Streamlit, users can create web applications. So what we are doing is to create a web application that through the use of Python scripts, we can define the outline, the layout, the content, and the behavior of the application. And as I mentioned a while ago, it is through Streamlit that we will be doing it, no? That provides us with simple and intuitive API that allows developers to easily create custom widgets, data visualizations, and other user interface components. If you are not familiar with Streamlit, so you will be having a hard time using it at the beginning. No? But as you go along with Streamlit, you may find that Streamlit is very intuitive, it's very simple, and it's very easy to learn. Streamlit is designed for to be highly modular, meaning users can integrate different Python libraries and tools commonly used in data science and machine learning. Additionally, Streamlit's web server is optimized for fast and efficient updates, which means anything that you change on your codes, no, you will right away see the changes in real time, no, while changing your application code. Now, to begin with, let's try to discuss first what are the things that we really need in order for us to deploy our machine learning or deep learning models. You have to listen carefully and watch carefully the different steps that I'm going to discuss for this session, because this will be very helpful in accomplishing your final task or final case study or final project. And this is about the deployment of your deep learning models. All right. So to begin with, what are the different components that we need? Of course, number one here, you should be able to sign up to a Streamlit account. All right. So signing up on a Streamlit account is very simple. Now, I suggest that if you are signing into a Streamlit account, you first sign up into a GitHub account. All right. So since I have a GitHub account already created, in your case, if you don't have a GitHub account, it's better if you will be able to create your GitHub account. So right here, I'm showing you my GitHub account. And as you can see, I am signed in as this name, JV Tylar-CPE. So I use uh, my Google account. Particularly, I use my TIP account in order for me to sign up through my GitHub account. And as you can see, there are lots of repositories that I have been working with for the past months, for the past years. Not so long ago, but you can see some of the recent repositories that I have created. For example, I have a repository here called Streamlit, my repo, which have been 5 hours or updated 4 days ago. And then I have this repository here. This was forked from Streamlit, Streamlit example, and it's updated 4 days ago. Some of them are a year ago already, so you don't have to take check on that. No. Now, what I want you to do is to sign up. Now, if you don't have a GitHub account, you should be able to sign up uh, through the sign up page of the github.com, right? So in order to do that, so let me show you. I'm gonna sign out here. Okay, and then after I sign out, you will see that this is the landing page of the github.com. No? So you have to sign up. Just click the sign up and then provide information about your email, of course, and other information that you need to. Now that I have already registered, I can sign in, and I can sign in using my tip.edu.ph account. I'm gonna put my password and I'm gonna sign in. And as you can see, these are all my repositories. Okay? And that's it. No, so I'm gonna use this to sign up. No, let's say I haven't signed up here. I'm gonna sign out here. This is the Streamlit IO. All you have to do to be able to go to Streamlit webpage or website, just type Streamlit, okay, and then Google will search it for you. The first to come in your Google search, that's the site, streamlit.io. I'm gonna click this streamlit.io web page, and you will see that this is the landing page. Okay, so in order to create an account, just sign up. Okay, click that, and you can either continue using GitHub. You can also use your Google account. Now, it's better if you have created your GitHub account. It's better that if you are signing in or signing up as a user, for Streamlit.io, you have to sign up using your GitHub account. Okay. However, since I already have an account with Streamlit.io, what I will do now is to sign in using my uh, GitHub account. Okay, so I'm gonna continue with GitHub since I already signed up using my email, and you can see here that I need to choose an account from tip.edu.ph to continue using Streamlit.io, and I'm gonna click that, and as you can see, I am now being redirected to the page where um, Streamlit.io will be creating some options for us, no? And it seems like there's no output, so I'm gonna refresh. All right, so this is the page where everything here is you can see the different applications that you have, no? For example, since JV Tyler CPE is the name of my GitHub account, okay, that's my GitHub name. So you will see that there are plenty of apps already created here for Streamlit, no? But in your case, no, if you are just starting to create your Streamlit.io applications, so you will not see anything here, no? Except maybe you will have an example, okay? So this is the first example that we have, no? I think this is the first example that I have here. I can click this one, and you can see that if I click that one, it will open up the Streamlit application that was created here. Now, clicking that, you will see that your application now is being loaded. Actually, you can click on what's happening here. No, you can click on what's happening here using the Manage App, which is located here, no, on the lower right part of your web page. No, you can click that one, and you can see what's happening. No, and you can see that these are the logs for JB Tyler dash Streamlit example, Streamlit.app, etc., etc. You can see that there's a lot of activities happening here, from provisioning the machine, preparing the system, and then as you can see, there's an error during processing the dependencies. No? So you have to fix the error and push an update or try restarting the application. So I guess there's a problem, no? There's a problem within the application. So usually we encounter this problem if the dependencies for the applications are not met, no? So you need to troubleshoot whatever dependencies you need, no? And in that case, since there's an error on this example that we have, we will not be seeing the application, no, using the Streamlit.io. Okay, I'm gonna close that, no, since as you can see here, there's an error running the app, and you might want to see the logs, no, why there is an error, etc., etc. Okay, going back to our notebook. Okay, so as I mentioned, a prerequisite in order to deploy our deep learning model using the cloud is via signing up through the Streamlit account. Number two is by signing up through a GitHub account. Both of them can be done together, and you can use your GitHub account to sign into or to sign up to a Streamlit account. And then if you are deploying your Streamlit application locally, one of the requirement is to create a new environment on Anaconda. So if you are familiar with Anaconda, so that means you should be able to install your Streamlit using Anaconda. Okay, and it's very simple to create an environment, no? So you just have to to uh, to create a new environment in Anaconda. For instance, I'm gonna open my Anaconda here. Okay, so we just have to wait, no? If the Anaconda will uh, initialize. As you can see, it's now initializing, and then later you will see. Now, while we are waiting, let's try to read some of the things that we are needed to install, no, before we can actually use Streamlit, no. One of the things that we should do once we are in Anaconda is to create our environment, no. Where do we see our environment in Anaconda Navigator? So you can find it here, environments, and as you can see here, I have a base environment. I also have a Miniconda here, Miniconda 3. I can create an environment here. For instance, I can name it as my environment. I just put it my end, and I'm using Python. The version is 3.9.16. I'm gonna create, and as you can see, it's now creating the environment for us. All right. Now, while we are waiting for that to finish, it will take time depending the speed of your computer. Mine is much slower than yours, maybe. So I'm using a MacBook for this. So if you have a Windows operating system and you have, yeah, I think it's okay now. It's faster than uh, I usually thought of. So I have now my environment, and as you can see here, I can choose this environment and I can open a terminal. And right there, so I open a terminal, and as you can see, I'm gonna just click this to allow access to control the terminal using the Anaconda Navigator. And as you can see now, I have now my environment here. So this is my environment, and this is my terminal. No? I'm using a terminal for MacBook. So all I have to do, you can also do this using the Windows operating system. No? You just have to open a terminal, and then you just have to install Streamlit. And in this environment, I'm going to install Streamlit. No, the command is simple. Uh, just issue the command pip install Streamlit, and there you go. No, so you can see that the Streamlit now are the Streamlit application, and all of its dependencies are basically installing until it's done. And if you want to test the application whether it's running or not, so you can just issue the command Streamlit hello. No? So this is the command where you can test the server if the Streamlit was properly installed in your system. And as you can see, once I issued the command Streamlit hello, okay, so this will bring to me, so I'm gonna just close this one. No? This will bring us to a web server. So you can see here that clicking on the terminal, you can see here that there's a welcome page here, welcome notes. Welcome to Streamlit, and check out our demo in your browser. So this is the browser that we have, and you can see that the local host, which is my computer, is running on the port number 8501. Yeah, that's the port number. So that's the local URL. So the socket, so which is the combination of my IP address and my the port number is 8501, and at the same time my network address is 192.168.100.90. So this is the socket now for this Streamlit. So if you open again another Streamlit, it will open to it will create another port number, maybe 8502 or 8503, and so on. Now we are ready to create our Python application, no? And we can just have to, if you want to create your application, if you don't know what to do next, you can just browse on this um, page here. We can open the link. And this is the Streamlit documentation where everything to know about Streamlit is located. Okay, so you can click the get started. So all of the things that are needed are here, no, including the installation for different operating systems. So if you are into Windows, so you can find it here in the installation page. As you can see, Streamlit on Windows. Yan. So makikita nyo dyan. And if you are using, of course, a Mac operating system or Linux, meron din tayong mga instructions dyan, no? So kompleto tong ano na to, yung documentation ng Streamlit. And then if you want some things to know about the Streamlit, and then yung main concept natin, no? So how do we run some application? So how do we deploy our applications, no? So, and more of the things that we should understand about Streamlit. All right, so now that we have set up, no, our Anaconda, so we have just tested our installation. We issued the command Streamlit hello, and we have installed Streamlit properly on our environment, no? So as I mentioned, you can check on this link for different installation procedures on any operating system that you have. Okay? Now I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna demonstrate some simple local deployment. Okay? So for this tutorial, I assume that you have created your virtual environment in Python, and I have already did, no? So meron na tayong virtual environment. So this is the environment that I have created using Anaconda, no? So there are other ways to create an environment, no? But basically this is the simplest way, you know. Just click this and open a terminal, or you can create an environment here where you can actually customize, no, the different dependencies and packages that you need for a particular environment. Okay, so now that I have my environment, okay, so I assume that you have created your virtual environment also. Now there are two files that are needed to deploy the sample application in Streamlit, no? So in this case, as you can see, I'm gonna show you to my um, I have um, a sample application here, which is in the location. Where did I save it? I think I save it in my desktop. Okay, let me see. All right, so let me see, where is my desktop? So I think I did not save it using my desktop. So I think I save it in my desktop, no? So let me just find my desktop here, users, and then that's me. And that this is my desktop, and I think this is the files. All right, so you can see here that the first thing that we need, no, is to create a folder, a directory. Mine is Streamlit, and I put all the files that I need, no. I have plenty of files here. So you can see I have a model here, final model, and then I also have another model here called plant classifier. Okay, so in this example, I use the model plant classifier, and I assume that you have already developed your deep learning model. You have trained the model using your data set, and you have already optimized your model, no? So once you have done that, you can save your model, no, which later we can use it to load it in the Streamlit application. Okay, so what are the prerequisites? Again, we need a model, the deep learning model. In order for us to deploy our model, we need the model, of course, no? So it should be in a format of HDF5 or H5. You can also use other formats like PKL or PKL files, depending on your preference, no? So in your project or in your task or final case study, I am very much particular that I am requiring everyone to use a deep learning model, no? Not a machine learning model. All right. So let's create a directory of the app. I have done that. I have the Streamlit application, Streamlit folder or the directory. So it will contain the files that I will be needing. Okay, so the first file that I need is the plant classifier .hdf5. This is the model. And the other one is the uh, Python file. No? So it should be placed inside the directory. So anything that you need for your application to run, it should be placed inside here. Okay, and then let me take a look at some of the files here. Is this sample.py? Okay, ito nga yun, no? So this is the file that I'll be needing. So that's the name of the file is sample.py. Now you can rename your file to any name. It can be an app.py, it can be main.py, or whatsoever name. Okay? So as long as the extension of the file is a Python file. All right? So those are the things that I need in order for me to deploy my application. All right? So you can see here that it can be an app.py, it can be sample.py, no? And if you take a look at the Python file or the Streamlit application.py, so these are the contents, no? No, I basically explained it, no, using the different parts of the program. I explain it here. For instance, of course, we need to import Streamlit. No, I make it as an alias as st. So once you see st, that means that's Streamlit, and then tf means TensorFlow. Okay, that will be used to load our model. Okay, the first part of the program. Okay, so basically you will see here that we created a function, no? And this function load model, it uses TensorFlow, so the TF, no, to load a pre-trained model. It's a neural network model from a save file, and the name of the file is plant underscore classifier.htf5, no? And you will also notice that the decorator at say streamlit.cache, no, it is used to basically cache the function's output, no? So it's only loaded once, and it will be stored in memory for faster access. So this is the way we can actually make our web application faster to load, no? And then this function returns the model. Okay. Now the next part of um, the long, not so long, ano, no? It only is around 48 lines of code, no? Now another function here is to do the importation and the prediction of the image data, and of course the input parameters here are the uh, the image data, okay, the uploaded image data, and the pre-trained model. So ito yung model na ni-return natin from this function here. So that will be the input parameter. All right. So you can see that we are pre-processing the image that we have inputted, okay, and we are resizing it to 64 by 64 pixels, no? And then it will make a prediction using the pre-trained model. Now, along the other functions that are you can see from here are some of the things na we will be needed to basically load our image and resize or reshape our image. All right. So the next one is the um, the the interface, no, the interface of the web application that we are creating. Okay, and you can see here, this is the one of the basic um, commands that you can see in a Streamlit app is the streamlit.write attribute. No, write is an attribute, and it's basically a function that displays the title of um, the application. No? For example, we are using a markdown language here. Okay, as you can see, we are using the heading 1 function here, using the sharp or the hashtag, and then the name of the application is plant leaf detection system. Now, another part of the program is this one. No? So you can see here, one of the attributes of the Streamlit is to handle an object called file uploader. Okay, so this is an object. Okay, it definitely can upload a file. No? And as you can see, the parameters inside this function here, file uploader, is a string. Okay, this is just a note that you can choose any plant or photo from your computer, but it should be in the type of JPEG or JPG, not the JPEG, ha? Iba pa yun, no? So, and the other one, the other type is PNG. So, if you want to add more or to put additional formats, you can put it there, no? And all of this function here, now we put it in a file, so as an object. And then because later kasi gagamitin natin siya. Right? So this file uploader na to, this will create a file uploader widget. So magke-create siya ng widget na for the user to upload an image file. You will see later what it looks like. Okay? And then the other part of the file that you can see, no? So andito na tayo, no? So dito na tayo sa part na to. Okay? So sa else na tayo. But before the else, you can see that there's another attribute for Streamlit, which is text. This is also used to write something, no? So you can see here, please upload an image file. This is just to display a text. On the other hand, the other one naman kasi is to write, no, a header file. Okay? So, where are we? We are explaining some of the parts of the program. And you can see from here that we are now in the Streamlit image attribute. No? So what is this image attribute? This will display the uploaded image. No? So you can see here, this is the uploaded image. We are taking it from the image, and then we are using a column width which is equal to true. So which means the size of the image will be resized in such a way that it will be according to the column width of the web page or the web application. Now this command here, which is also another attribute for Streamlit, and then the input parameter here is a string. So this function will display the predicted plant species as an output. And you can see here na ano ba yung mga i-display niya supposedly. So since our deep learning model will be classifying leaves, no, yung mga dahon. So these are the trained features or trained labels. Supposedly these are the labels that will be displayed once the image is uploaded, no? So you can see the different class names are as follows. So meron tayong rasna, meron tayong revidantu, meron tayong jackfruit, may neem, may basil, may Indian mustard, karanda, marami yan, no? So there's a lot, no? So be careful on copying the class if you want to simulate this environment, no? And then you can see here that this string, no, this class name, This class name contains the different names of the plant species that the model can predict, no? And then later, we will be using the NP or NumPy argmax, and then the prediction will be the input parameter for that. So this will be used to find the index of the predicted class with the highest probability, which is used to get the corresponding plant species name for the class names list. And note that this code creates a simple and user-friendly web application for predicting plant species now from leaf images using pre-trained neural network models. All right. So again, let's start to in order for us to run the Streamlit application, we need to install and import the following. So make sure that we are importing the Streamlit as an application, as one of the libraries for Python. But because of course you need to install it first, and then make sure that you also install the TensorFlow. We don't know yet if here we have the let me try to end the server here. I will be closing this. I'm suspending the the Streamlit hello. So let me try if I have a TensorFlow here. So you can see I don't have TensorFlow. So I will be installing the TensorFlow, and then in the code you will see that there is a function here, or another import here called CV2. So CV2 is basically used for computer vision, so you should be able uh, to create an environment that will allow you to import your CV2. So again, kailangan to sa environment natin. So kailangan natin siyang install. So marami tayong kailangan para mag-run properly yung application natin. So right now we can run the application, So we can go to let me see, nasa desktop siya, I'm going to my desktop and I'm going to my Streamlit folder here, and let me check the different. I have the model, the plant classifier, and it's very easy to run an app here, Just issue the command Streamlit and then issue the command run, and then the name of the file is sample.py, that contains it contains this code here, the sample.py, We can run it here, and as you can see, it will create another, but you can see here there is a problem, because there is no module named TensorFlow. So this means that in order for our application to run properly, and as you can see here, it's also denoted here that in the environment that we created, which is my env, there is no TensorFlow. So basically, we need to install the TensorFlow. I'm gonna install the TensorFlow here. So let me install. So I'm using pip install TensorFlow, and if you are not using any version, it will install the latest version. So you can see now that the latest version is 2.12, and it's now installing. Let us just wait for it to finish. It's also installing of course, other dependencies. Now that we have that, maybe we can refresh our installation, our web app. I just no. We don't need to refresh it now because we have suspended it. So I'll just close it, and then I will try to rerun the Streamlit run sample.py. And as you can see, it will create another connection on the app server for Streamlit 8503. Okay, as you can see, it's now running because we have TensorFlow, but we don't know yet if it is running properly. So you have to test everything, no? You have to take a look at your application. Now, it doesn't mean that your code or your application is okay, there's no error, but it will not run properly without the proper dependencies. Now it's connecting, as you can see. We should be seeing something right now, no? And let's try to check the terminal, what's happening. And you can see here na there is a problem here, illegal hardware instruction. So there is an illegal hardware instruction. I need to install something, no? So I need to install something here like the, I need to install the Xcode select, and then I need to install Watchdog as one of the things that I need to install. All right? So there are things that you need to install first, no, before you can actually run your local deployment, no. But I will not be troubleshooting this because this will take time, no, to finish. But definitely I was able to run it, no. And I ran it, actually I did run it not here in my MacBook, no, because there are a lot of dependencies in a MacBook. I ran it in the TIP's laboratory, and I was able to run it there. There's no problem, no. I was able to install some of the dependencies like TensorFlow, etc., etc. But this is not your project, no. I don't want you to deploy your project in local deployment only, no. I want you to deploy using the web. Okay? So, kasi itong si Streamlit, meron siyang tinatawag na Streamlit Cloud. Okay? So, the Streamlit Cloud allows you to create your Streamlit applications. Ito, nakikita nyo na to. This is the Streamlit, the website that you can see is share.streamlit.io. This is the Streamlit Cloud. And it allows you to create your application, as you can see from here. Okay? Sa notebook ninyo, may makikita kayo ditong explanation, no? So web deployment, ang requirement, no, this is the main requirement that you need to understand, because this is the one that I will be looking at, no, when you submit your final project, no. All you have to do is to submit a shareable link of the Streamlit application, no. So dapat naka-share siya. All right. So what you need to be able to create your web deployment, no, of your basically yung pa rin ang gagamitin natin, no, si plant classifier pa rin. But you need your GitHub account and Streamlit account, no? And you have to sign into Streamlit, no. I put here some illustrations para hindi kayo maligaw. And then in the new application, no, saan nyo ba makikita to? Dito yan. Na kapag nakapag-sign up na kayo ng Streamlit, you can click the new app, or if you can click the button here, no, sa drop down button, you can deploy a new app, or you can also choose from existing repository or from a sample app template. Okay? So if you want, you can click the new application, and as you can see here, there are three things that you need. Number one, the name of the file that you need. Of course, the name of the repository, no? So dapat meron kayong pangalan. You don't need to type the full path of your repository. Just the name of your repository, as you can see from here. For example, this is the name of my repository. This is the name of my GitHub account, and this is the name of my repository. All right? Slash the name of the repository. So for instance, yan yung yung application na ide-deploy ko. And then you can also check where have you place all of your file. Is it located on a main branch, or you put it somewhere? So you should be able to know where you located or you placed all your files. No? In my case, I put it in my main branch, and the name of the file is, let's say, sample.py. All right? So, and as you can see here, sa Streamlit na to, wala daw file doon, no? So it can immediately, since my GitHub account is connected to streamlit.io, intelligently manonotice niya kung may file na ganito sa repository na to, makikita niya. So tingnan natin yung streamlit.io na yon. So that's it, no? So wala ngang sample.py, pero meron siya ditong app.py. And as you can see, everything is okay now. And then you can click deploy if you want. No? If you click deploy, diyan na mag-start yung application natin. Ganun lang kasimple, no? And then of course, you need to troubleshoot what are the things that you need. Okay? Now, looking at my sample here, so where is my sample? I'm gonna check my sample here. I think my sample is located here. Okay, let me check I'm going back, no? So my main sample here, I think, is this one, no? Streamlit example, and then nakalagay siya sa master, and then app.py yung pangalan ng application. I'm going to check if it is the file, no? So let me just look at it. And as you can see now, if I click the manage app, so pwede nating ipalakihin yan, no? So makikita nyo rito na everything is perfect. And if I click now if I click this one, the GitHub icon, you will find all of the files, no, na kailangan mo. Nung kinlik mo to, nilagay mo yung repo mo, di ba? Tapos nilagay mo kung saan, sa master ba siya, at saka yung pangalan ng file, and then you deploy it, no? Once na na-deploy mo, dapat ganito yung itsura niya. It should be working properly. As you can see from here, it's now working properly. No? And as you can see here, we can drag and drop a file here. Let's say I'm going to browse a file to my downloads folder. Let's see, I have a lif here. Say this is the sample lif. Okay. And I'm going to open this right now. Okay, I'm just going to drag it somewhere here. Ito na lang, bababa lang natin to. Hindi siya makita eh. Then click ko na lang open. Yan. As you can see from here, nag-output na siya. The file was able to recognize the image, and the output is Alpinia, Galanga, or they call it Rasna. Alright, so this is a simple application. There is a working application that's going on here. And if you check on what are the dependencies and packages that are needed in order to deploy this simple application. So ganun lang yung project nyo, no? So you can see here, aside from the model, this is the model, you cannot see any code because that's the model, no? It's in a different format, no? And one more thing, no? If you're using a GitHub, make sure that your model is below 25 megabytes. The model that I have right now is 9.35 megabytes. So it's working properly. If you design a deep learning model and your model has lots of parameters, so you might see na napakalaki naman ng model natin. Sometimes the model will go beyond 100 megabytes. It's a good model, but definitely we cannot use it in Streamlit. Actually, we can use it in Streamlit, but you have to use a large file storage for your GitHub. And that's a lot of tasks to do. And that's another option, no? But if you're planning to just submit a simple project that I require for this course, so kailangan liitan nyo lang yung model na gagawin nyo. Okay? So you can see now my model is only 9.35. I am not focusing on the accuracy of the model. Remember, I am just focusing on how we can be able to deploy our model locally and at the same time through the web. I'm doing it through the web right now. Okay? And as you can see, the model that I have is this one right now. So I'll just close this. This is the local deployment that wasn't able to run properly because of some of the dependencies in my MacBook. But here, you can see that the address of this is ito yung ipapasa nyo sa akin, no, na link. No, once you submitted this, the submitted path of the application should be according to your GitHub account, and then this is the name of your repository, and this is the name of your application. Okay? So, kapag kinlik po natin ito, so actually itong manage na to, na you can see na ito na ma-manage tong file na yan. Manage app. Now, if you click on the manage app, lalabas dyan yung mga problems, no, if there are problems, no. For example, I'm gonna click this one, right? So this is the GitHub icon. So these are the contents of the file, no. So this is the app.py that is running right now. Okay, this is the app.py. So basically, dinidisplay niya yung plant detection system, tapos meron tayong file uploader, ito yon, no. So ito yung file uploader natin. Saan ba siya? Ayan, yung file uploader natin, no? So ito naman yung sinulat nating plant leaf detection system. So what else? Tapos ito yung nagpe-predict ng ating image, no? Import and predict kasi yan eh. Tapos ito naman yung mga classes na pagpipilian niya, and then it outputs the string, no? So basic lang yung project, no? So you can do the same, no? But you have to try it, no, on your own model, no? So you should be able to perform this, no? So medyo dalawa yung nire-require natin dito. I'm requiring you to submit your application and at the same time your GitHub account that you use, no? Now, ano yung sinasabi ko kanina, that this is a successful run, no? You can see that the application was able to run properly here, no? Dito sa web application na to. Okay? And this is just a simple application, no? It was able to run. But how did it run successfully? No? Did it run successfully the first time? No. I will answer it. The application, no, itong application app.py na to, no, so basically, let us check what's happening inside when a Streamlit, when you open a Streamlit, and let's check here. Check natin kung anong nangyayari at the beginning of the file. As you can see, when we try to deploy the file, ito po yung makikita natin, no? You can see it's collecting and processing all of the dependencies, and they're pulling the code changes from the GitHub. All right? You see here that it's cloning the repository, it's cloning the Streamlit example, and then it's pulling some of the changes that we did on the GitHub and processing all of the dependencies. What are these dependencies? No, as you can see, some of the dependencies are Streamlit, TensorFlow, OpenCV, pip, no, NumPy, and others, no, other applications that are already collected, downloaded, and installed, no, to be able for our application to run. And not all the time you will be seeing something like this, no, that is always successful. You will be seeing a lot of Python dependencies, no, na kailangan nating i-install. As you can see from here, may mga error yan dito, no. So ito kasi yung complete log ng file, no, during the testing, no. So nakikita nyo rito, ayan, no, merong mga errors, no, hindi yan nagra-run successfully. But once na inayos na natin, now how do we prevent this, and how do we make sure na tama yung dependencies? No, you have to check the errors. Now, katulad nito, no, so you have to check the errors. And you have to install properly what are the dependencies and the packages that you need. So, saan ba natin makikita yun, sir? So, makikita po natin siya dito. So, makikita nyo rito, ang pinaka-importanting files dito, dalawa, no? So, app, ito, yung naka-highlight na to, itong app. And the other one is the model. But you can see there's a requirements.txt dito, at dito nakalagay yung Streamlit, yung TensorFlow, at saka yung OpenCV, kasi nag-i-import tayo ng CV2 doon, no? And we're importing the Python headless package. We're importing that. Kapag nakita ni Streamlit tong mga to, lahat ng dependencies na to, i-install niya. No, install niya to. So every time ba na nirarun natin yung application, ini-install niya? Hindi na. Kapag once na in-install niya na yan, meron tayong function kanina dito sa app.py na kinacache niya yung lahat ng resources na kailangan natin. So one time niya lang gagawin yung installation ng Streamlit, ng TensorFlow. No, parang nagke-create siya dito ng virtual environment sa Streamlit. Alright? And makikita nyo meron pa ako isa pa rito, aside from requirements.txt, meron pa akong packages.txt. So why do I need to install libgl1? No? Libgl1. It's because the image is not displaying properly before, no, when I do it. No? And then I saw this, it needs to install this. No, I put this one inside the requirement, it's not working. And then I research, I troubleshoot using some of the communities na meron sa streamlit.io, and I was able to identify what's missing in my in my packages, no? So kailangan ko palang ilagay ito. At kapag nakita ni Streamlit tong package na to, libgl1, the Streamlit application will be installing it properly. And as you can see, no, based from our application, it's now working properly. No, it's now working properly. And as you can see here, these are all the detection system. So the system was able to detect the libs, no, from this example. All right. So and it runs properly. So pag nagra-run kayo, make sure na from time to time check nyo tong part na to, yung manage app, no, kasi dito na nakasalalay kung ano yung mga dependencies ng application na ini-install nyo. Kasi depende yan sa model nyo, no? For example, the model that you have created is convolutional neural network. Did you know that this model plant leaf detection system is a neural network model, meaning this is only a multi-layer perceptron model. This is not a convolutional neural network or a long short-term memory model. No, this is just a simple neural network model. Now, I will not show you the model, but I'm gonna show you another example. So I have another example here. I think let me just check kung saan yun dito sa aking mga repositories. Okay, so I already show you the example. This is the Streamlit example. So this one, right? Ito yun, no? So this is done 4 days ago. And let me show you another example. I think this is 4 days ago also. Yung my repo. So let me see the app here. This is basically the same, but this one, no, this is from a student's model. No, I was able to run the notebook and save the model in my notebook. No? The name of the student is Popes. No, she is from a class, no, data science class. This is the submitted notebook of the student. I took the model, no, from there, no, and I was able to save the model, but I needed to tweak something, no, because when I created her model, it's too large. It's more than 30 megabytes. But I need to create a model that is smaller than 30 MB because GitHub will not accept it. No? So all models that are created beyond 30 megabytes will not be accepted by GitHub. No? This should be an alarming announcement to you. So you have to be careful in creating your model. No? Make sure your model is smaller than 30 megabytes. So as you can see here, this is the I highlighted this part, no, and I put it here because this is the no the I commented it out, no, this codes, because I will not be using it, because these codes are coming from this, no, are coming from this. So this is the first one, no. I imported it. I'm using the same, no. Yeah, but basically I did another model here. This is final model, and the student used a convolutional neural network. And remember that neural networks are different from convolutional neural network, no, in a sense, no, magkaiba 'yon, no. So medyo dapat alert tayo dito. So what is this application that I'm doing here? So this is an application that scans a image again, no. You can see here, you can choose an MRI photo from your computer, either JPEG or PNG again. And then it will definitely predict from the 4 classes here, is the image mild demented, moderate demented, non-demented, or very mild demented, no? According to the classes, these will be the predictions. But what are the things that I need to fix? But let's just check the requirements first. So pares lang ang requirements nila, no? Kasi parang image din eh. Sa packages ganun din. But one of the things that I troubleshooted here, no, in order for me to be successful in deploying this application, is in the application part. Because this one, no, will give you a lot of errors. If you keep on using this, it will give you a lot of errors. So you need to specify on how you can resize the image to the expected input shape of the model, because this one is expecting a neural network model. So the input shape of this is around this input, no? From this input. But here, I was able to resize the image in such a way that the input will be in the shape of the model, and I know that the shape of the model is a convolutional neural network. So I need to resize. Now I need to convert the image to grayscale first, and then reshape the image and add a channel dimension, as you can see from here. Okay? So these are the things that I did in order for this application to run properly. All right? So, and I was able to do that, no? And I was able to run it. Now, as you can see from here, this is the, what is the name of the file? The main repo, no? So if I click that one, so this is the application. It's typically the same. So napakadali lang din, napakasimple lang. And let's check the manage that app kung it is okay. Yeah, okay yun. Nakikita nyo rito. So ito yung mga na-encounter kong problem, makikita nyo sa history. So you can see a lot of convolutional neural network input must be 4-dimensional, and it has 5 dimensions here. No? So medyo marami tayong ano yan, but definitely I was able to troubleshoot the problems, no? So may mga problems tayo makikita diyan in terms of ano na solve naman natin. No? So maybe I can show you some example. Like for example here, the brain, I'm gonna open it, no? It will upload, and then you can see here that this is non-demented, no? So the output of that is non-demented. So yun lang po yung ano, yung concept ng paglo-load o pag in your case, pwede kayong in your project sa case study nyo, you can follow the same, but you have to use your own model, no? May requirement naman dun sa assignment natin, may mga, and meron akong nilagay dito ng mga links on the GitHub account that I have para makopya nyo siya. You can even fork these repositories if you want, no? So when you say fork, that means you're copying my repository to your repository, no? And then you can create your own, no? Ayan, meron tayong sample 1. Ito yung sa plant classifier, and then the other one is the MRI scan classifier. So ito pa yung output natin para makita nyo yung mga ano natin. Now, Streamlit is just one of the things that we can use to deploy our machine learning or deep learning models. No, there's a lot of tools that we can use. Another one is the Flask. No, so if you want to use Flask, but this is just to deploy it locally. No, and then later you'll find the way on how to. You have to find a way on how to deploy your model using the web deployment. Kasi my requirement is to deploy the model in a uh, web setup. All right, so I think it's very easy to understand. I think you can follow all of the things na we need to in order for us to remember just some pieces of advice here. If problems happen, you can troubleshoot the errors in the manage app. No, you know where it is. No, it can be found here. So if you deploy, you can find it here. The manage app, if there is a problem within the application, it might not be the code, it might be the dependencies on running the application code. So you have to manage it here. And then where do you change it? You cannot edit here, no, the changes. No, kahit na i-click niyo yan, wala kayong magagawa dito because these are all the analytics, no, the log files, no, of what's happening in your file. So where are you going to change your problems? No, you can change it from your GitHub account. And once na may chinek kayo sa GitHub account, no, may papakita ko sa inyo na it will, once you did something on the GitHub, let's say MRI detection, by let me edit this one. So I'm gonna edit this application here. Okay. So siguro ito na lang yung babaguhin natin. So let me check. And I want to edit this one. Let's say I'm gonna change ito na lang, ano? I'm gonna put here by Jonathan. Okay? And then I will commit my changes. So remember, this is the application. Saan ba application natin? Ito yan, di ba? Take a look at when I hit the commit button there in GitHub. Tingnan nyo kung anong mangyayari dito, ha? It will automatically update, no? So you see what's happened. So I'm gonna commit the changes. Click commit here, and then let's see. You can see here there is a note here. Okay. So let's see. Tingnan natin, ha. Something was changed on the diba, on the file. Something was changed on the file. So it should supposedly change something on the ayan, you can see it's pulling the code changes from GitHub, and it's still processing the dependencies. The process dependencies are processed, and then the app does updated here. And if you check on the changes that I did, it's plant leaf detection system by Jonathan. Okay? So ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyo. Every time that you do changes, it will be automatically reflected on the application itself. So that concludes the demonstration and discussion of how you can deploy your deep learning models using the local deployment and the web deployment. I am very much confident that you will be able to submit your final deliverable for this course, no, by following all of the procedures and the files that are in your notebook. So good luck, everyone. And if you have some questions, please feel free to send me your questions, and I'll be answering your queries once I get a hold of your message. Okay? Thank you very much, everyone.